In this video, I'm going to be explaining how to play the game Drake Island by LogicMills. So for this game, we have cards and 6 different dice. Well, all the dice are the same, but they're not really your typical 6-sided dice because on them, on one die, you have 1 1, 2 2s, 2 3s, and 1 4. And all of them are the same. And we also have, 3 different types of cards. This one is like a little key that you can look to when you're playing, so it's just to help you. This, on one side you have the turn summary, so what you do in your turn, and over here we have the 3 different pictures for how you're going to defeat and battle your monsters in order to capture them. And this is just for people to look at, so you can keep it off to the side or just somewhere where everybody can see it. And then we have 2 different decks. Over here we have a silver deck and a blue deck. Our blue deck contains all of our monsters. So these are what we're going to capture in order to gain points, which are over here in the little shields. So this is worth 4 points, this is worth 5 points. And next to them on the side, you can see that we have 3 little numbers with pictures corresponding to them. And this is what we have over here. Now, if I wanted to capture one of these monsters, I have to choose whether I want to attack it using a hit, a thump, which is the second one, or a howl, which is the third one. Now, once I choose one, what I need to do is, basically these are how strong they are. And if I wanted to capture it by hitting it, I would need to hit or manage to get 10 points or more. So that's what the 10 represents. If I was using thump, it's just 8 points or more, and if I was using a howl, it's 11 points or more. And so this varies from monster to monster, and we get these points using our dice, and we get our dice using these. And I'll explain to you how the turn goes, but that's basically it. In this deck, we also have 2 other types of cards. We have these orange back cards, so the monsters have brown backs, and these special cards have orange backs. On the backs, you capture them or you obtain them in the same method with the hit, thump, and howl. So you need to, in this case, for the hit, it's 7 points or more. And on them, you'll also see that there's a little bit of text. So for this particular card, it says, use only once to add 4 points to any capture attempt. That means that if I have this card and I'm trying to get this card, this one will give me 4 points for any capture attempt. So if I was trying to get this one and I was like, okay, I want to use a thump, then I need 8 points. But wait, if I decide to use this one, I can use it just once because it says that, throw it away, and it gives me 4 points. So I only need an additional 4 points to hit 8 and capture this monster. So that's how the special card works. We also have cards which don't say use only once, and these will remain with you for the rest of the game. So in this case it says add 2 points to any hit. That means for the hit, the punch one, I get minus 2 points. So in this case, if I had this one, and this is 10, I only need 8. Also, if you have any ones that overlap, so this is a hit, you can also have cards which work for all of them, hit, thump, and howl, then they can stack, and you add together whatever points they help give you when you're attacking or trying to capture a monster. The third type of card inside the blue deck is the red backs, and these ones are just special actions that everybody or all the players are going to do, and you just read what it says on the card. So in this case it says all players pass 1 dwarf card to the right. The white deck is the dwarf card deck, and so you would just execute what it says. For the silver deck or the dwarf deck, we just have a bunch of dwarves which have numbers on them, and these are the numbers that will give you the hit, thump, and howl that then give you the card, the dice. Now, all of these range from numbers 1 to 12, and there's only one there is only one special card. This is just an extra draw 2 cards. So if you at any point draw this card, you immediately discard it and draw 2 new cards. Now moving on to game setup. What you're going to do for the silver deck is just shuffle it and deal 5 cards to every player. For this game, you can have 2 to 4 players, and I'm going to set up as if there are 3 people playing. 3, 4, 5, 5. Okay. Then moving on to this deck, to start off with, you're going to need to find the silver and gold drakes. Sorry. Which are... And these are special cards that help determine when the end of the game is. So there are 2 ways that the game may end, one of which is if you manage to defeat both the silver and the drake cards, which are just like other monsters. So they do give you points in the end, and they're defeated in the same manner with the hit, thump, and howl. These 2. So you're going to take these 2 cards out. You're going to split the deck in half. When you do this, you should find the middle. Actually, sorry, before you split the deck in half, you need to take out cards depending on how many people are playing. So if you have 2 people playing, then you take out 12 cards. If you have 3 people playing, you take out 10 cards. And if you have 4 people playing, take out 8 cards. In this case, I have 3 people playing, so I take out 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I just set these off to the side. Okay, now once I've done that, I am, as I said before, going to split this deck into half. You should find where the exact half is, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just guessing. Then you're going to put these cards into this bottom half and shuffle it. This is just to make sure that people will only start seeing the silver and gold drake once the game has progressed a bit. So you're going to put the other half on top and place it here. Now I would just put this off to the side, that way you can open up the cards so everybody can see them. So you're going to open up 6 cards. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Then play begins. So the first player, what they get to do, so in my case, I do this. I would discard it and draw 2 new cards. It doesn't count as a move. This one is just something that immediately happens. But on my turn, I may do one of 2 things. I may either draw 1 card from the silver deck, or I may decide to try and capture one of these cards. And let's say that I did decide to try and capture one of these cards, I would need to tell everybody which one I'm going for. Let's say I'm going for this mouse deer. I would then need to also say whether I want to hit it, thump it, or howl at it to try and capture it. Now, let's say that I chose to hit it. Specifically for hit, I need cards with numbers in a row that create a sequence. So that could be 1, 2, 3, it could just be 3, 4. So it's numbers that, go one after another. In this case, I have 3 and 4. So because this is 2 cards in a sequence, I get 2 dice. With these dice, I will then roll it. And hey, I got 8. And for a hit, in this case, I needed at least an 8 or higher in order to get it. So because I beat it, I got a total of 8. You can see that, 4 and 4. This is now mine. The cards that I used then get discarded, and it's the end of my turn. But what if I rolled 6 and I didn't beat it? I would not get it, and I would have to throw away one of the cards that I placed down. Let's say I just placed 1 card to try and beat it, and I only had 1 die. I would have to throw away that 1 card. But since I placed down 2, then I would get 1 back because I had 2 cards. This would then be the end of my turn, and it's the next person's turn. They may again have the two same options, either draw one of the silver cards or try and attack or obtain one of these cards. And the game continues in the same fashion. For our hand, we have a maximum of 9 cards. So this is fine. I can keep drawing one card every turn. As soon as I get to 9 cards though, on that turn where I draw my 10th card, I have to throw away one before it's the end of my turn. So I draw one, and it doesn't have to be the same one I drew. I can choose a different one and throw it away. Now, let me just quickly explain the other two, the thump and the howl. Let's say I wanted to obtain or capture this monster using a thump. This would be cards that have the same number. So looking at my hand, right now I don't have cards with the same number, but let's say, okay, that works. And this. So let's say that I had these cards and I had 3 4s. Then this is 3 cards. I place them down and I get 3 dice. So remember, the number of dice corresponds to the number of cards that I have for my hit, thump, or howl. For a howl, it's just any cards. They don't have to be the same number, that are the same color. So here I have 3 cards that are peach, and I get 3 dice again. Let's say that I just wanted to place down 1 card. That's totally fine. I get 1 die, and I get to choose whether I want it to be a hit, thump, or howl. And it does make a difference because remember, these numbers are different. This is an 8, a 7, and a 7. So if I was just placing 1 card, I would want to either go for a thump or a howl because, I don't need to be able to get a number as high in order to capture it. And yeah, so the game ends, again, as I said, when we either defeat, anybody defeats both the silver and the gold Drake, or if this deck has been gone through twice. And what I mean by gone through is that we've used it, we've discarded the cards, and we've discarded all of them, drawn the last card. We shuffle this one time, place it back, go through it again, and as soon as we've gone through it the second time, that is the end of the game. At that point, we then calculate how many points we got. So let's say that I had these cards. I managed to capture these monsters. I would then add up 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4, which is 7 plus 9, which is 16. So that would be my score. Then, let's say this person had other monsters. They totaled up to be 7 points, and they had maybe 20 points. Then the 20 points would be the winner. Another thing is that in addition to your number of points on the cards, you would also get 3 points for having the most number of cards. So if it were a tie, okay, so first step is you look at who has the most number of cards. That person gets 3 points. Then you add together your points on the cards, and if there's a tie still between the 2 people, then between the people that are in a tie, or more than 2, the player with the most number of cards wins. And that's all. Thank you.